Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Dear Brother Podcast. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Let me see make sure you all can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. Let me see. Somebody's in the building already. Good morning, Xavier, my guy. Good morning, my brother. Good morning, brother. Hey, y'all. This morning I'm talking about rebuilding instead of restarting. That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about rebuilding versus restarting. Jess C, what's up, Jess? Good morning. It's been a minute, Jess. It been too long, my sister. It's been too long. It's good to see you. Good morning, my sister. Hope you have a heck of a Monday morning. How's everybody doing? How y'all doing today? How was your weekend? Talk to me. This is our community. How y'all making out? Yeah, Ryan, where's Ryan at? Where's Ryan at? All right, everybody. It's so good to see y'all. How y'all doing, man? How was your weekend? Xavier, how was your weekend, brother? Jess, how was your weekend? Y'all made out all right? Anything good happening in your life? Anything great happen for you? That's the stuff I want to know about. I want to know if everybody's doing well. You know, this is our community. This is where we stand together. This is where we stand strong. And this is where we hold each other up, man. Everybody needs a community. That's one thing I understand, that everybody needs a community. Natasha, what's up, my sister? Been praying for you, my sister. You know, you are a very vulnerable soul who's really seeking some great stuff in your life, and I'm proud of you. I want to say I'm proud of you. I don't care what else is going on or what you're trying to figure out. I am very proud of you, Natasha. God bless you, sister. Let me see. Good morning, y'all. It's Monday. It's Monday morning, and we're going to get into it. I do have an extended show today. I'm not stuck to my half hour, but we want to get into it today. I want to talk about rebuilding. You know, I think sometimes the seduction in our life is when stuff is not going right, is to replace instead of rebuild. I really do. I think this is where serial dating starts. You know, I think this is where multiple marriages start. I think this is where we just switch everything. We switch jobs. This is where, we do everything instead of rebuilding something. We rather restart. Because sometimes, y'all, restarting seems easier, and move on seems easier. In my younger years, I was a serial dater. If it wasn't cool, if it was crazy and I felt like it wasn't right, I'm out the door. Right. But there takes a certain maturity in you to rebuild instead of replace. Now, are there things that need to be replaced in our life? Absolutely. Are there things that we need to remove from our lives? Absolutely. Right? Are there things that we need to flat out change? Absolutely. Are there connections that we need to cut? Absolutely. Are there relationships that need to be completely over in our life? Absolutely. But I'm not focused on getting rid of today because that's what we do. That's what we do because it seems easier, right? But I want to talk about rebuilding what's broken today. When you look around your life and you see certain things that just aren't right, can you rebuild them? Do you have the resilience to rebuild? That's the question. Do you have the resilience to rebuild your life, to rebuild your marriage, to rebuild your relationship? I'm talking about guts here, y'all. I'm not just talking about just moving on. I'm talking about guts. I'm talking about resilience. I'm talking about when you dig deep to say, this is the life I want and this is the life I'm willing to rebuild. Because guess what, y'all? Just because something fell apart doesn't mean it was no good. Some things in our life fall apart because we didn't nurture them correctly. Oh man, let's talk, y'all. Let's talk. Some things in our life we didn't nurture correctly. As men, we did not nurture them correctly. Some of our marriages fell apart because we didn't nurture them correctly. Some of us don't have the relationship with our children that we want because we didn't nurture them correctly, right? Now, I know my sisters are on here, but I'm talking to us guys today, right? We always welcome the sisters, but that won't stop me from talking directly to men, right? Because guys, a lot of times we quit. We use our anger to just quit. And really, it's in us to rebuild. It's in you to rebuild. The question is how, right? How is it that I rebuild? Now, number one, the first thing you got to realize to rebuild something in your life is to know this. I realized something about Nehemiah, and I want to teach something from this, from the book of Nehemiah in the scriptures, because he was a rebuilder. Impressive. When I read that story, it impressed me because what it showed me is that we need concerned men in society now. I don't know that men are as concerned as they should be with the woes of society. I really don't. I think that we're disconnecting. I think men are hiding in our corners. All right? I think we're hiding in our corners instead of seeing what we can do to rebuild society. Do you know it's the job of men to rebuild society? It's not the job of women to rebuild society. It's the job of men to rebuild society. It's the job of men to see what's broken in society and fix it again, right? It is. It is. I don't think it's time for us to run to our corners. I don't think it's time to be Democrat or Republican. I don't think it's time to worry about who's black and who's white and who's Asian and who's Hispanic and who's Indian. And I don't think it's time to think about these things. I think it's time for men to look at the problems in our world and rebuild. Because the truth is, when you deal with rebuilding, the first thing against rebuilding is togetherness. The first thing that stops rebuilding is to keep people apart. Now I'm gonna talk to y'all this morning because I feel it. I feel it, y'all. The first thing that separates us, that's what the enemy wants, to separate us so that we will go in our corners and not see that we're dealing with the same problems. This is my problem with racism amongst men. We all deal with the same thing. Look at the distraction that I'm white or you're black and you're Hispanic and you're Asian and you're Latino, all these things. And the enemy says, well, let's be apart. Well, we're dealing with the same stuff. Do you know we're all trying to raise our kids? What is this? I got to stop these hand motions. It's crazy stuff going on the screen, right? We're all trying to raise our kids. We all want our kids to have good education. We all want our family safe. We all want these things, but yet we're against each other. It's a distraction. I'm trying to show y'all something this morning. I'm trying to show you the distractions that keep us from rebuilding. Could you imagine if men came together? If Christian men got with Muslim men and Muslim men got with Jewish men? Could you imagine what would happen in society? I know. Listen. I know this is far fetched, but this is the voice, and this is what we don't talk about anymore. Everybody's talking about separation and over there and over. No. What would happen in society if we stopped following politicians and got together? What would happen in society if we stopped watching all these news channels and got together to fix our own communities? What would happen as men? I'm talking to y'all. Come on. What would happen as men if we put down the separations, if we put down who has money and who don't? Do you realize that that's what the world is driving? With all these things, the world is driving separation. I'm telling you, as I build this men's gathering, and I'm not just talking about this podcast. I got plans for the world. But I'm talking about chasing these things like racism and beating them down. Why? Because we can't rebuild as long as we hate each other based on what we look like. We can't. We can't. We all want the same things. That's why the enemy, the scripture says the enemy is the most subtle beast of the field. Because what he wants us separated and distracted. He wants us so separated and distracted that we rather go in our corner and try a new thing than rebuild the standards of the old. Let's get into it. Let me go in the chat before I go too far in here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Xavier, rebuild. The power of rebuilding instead of starting over. And I know some of you have been there, right? Many of us have been there. You rather it's easy. You start over. A new relationship, a new marriage. You hear what I'm saying? Right? When you look back over your life and you look and everything wasn't an enemy of you. Everything wasn't an enemy. Some things we just didn't invest in properly. We didn't invest in it properly in our own lives. We didn't invest in our career the way we wanted to. So we went and got another job instead of maximizing where you are. Do you know that's the job of a man? Maximize where you are before you move on. Why? Because there's some things in the soil of where you are that you can resurrect. You can resurrect your marriage, man. You can. You can. Not a one bad day or a bad week in marriage doesn't mean the marriage is over. The question is when you have trouble, then the question is, do you have it in you as a man to rebuild? Now, the reason I'm talking directly to men, number one, because it's a Dear Brother podcast. Number two, because it's not really the job of a woman to rebuild a thing. Men are builders. If men are builders, then that means that men is also responsible to rebuild. Now, I want to talk to some of you guys out here that's married and you're in a relationship and it's shaky right now. You can't wait for your woman to rebuild. That's not in her to do. A woman is not a builder. A woman is a nurturer. And if you want your marriage, my brother, if you want that sister in your life to stay, you love her and y'all going through some things, then guess what? You have to humble yourself and rebuild instead of falling for the seduction of restarting. Oh, huh? Rebuild what's broken. See, in order to do that, you got to have number one, clear vision. We're going to go through 7 things today. Let me get in this chat right quick. Morning, my brother. All is well, my brother. Good to see you this morning, man. Thank you for coming back, man. Thank you for coming back, my brother. Yeah, it's 7 things I want to talk about today as far as rebuilding. Number 1, in your life, you have to have clear vision, right? One thing I learned about the Nehemiah story was that Nehemiah sat back and he assessed the issue before he responded. You hear what I'm saying? Nehemiah quietly assessed the problem before he responded. See, as men, sometimes our seduction is to fix something. We want to fix it so bad that we don't assess what needs to be done, right? Our lust to fix doesn't allow us to assess. I'll give you an example. Many of you who are married or date a woman, right, that you really love, sometimes instead of trying to fix the issue that's going on in her life, or she's acting emotionally erratic, do you know the smartest thing you can do as a man is not try to fix the situation? Sit back and ponder it. You know, we're talking about manhood now. See, as a young man, you respond. As a young man, you don't think. As a young man, you're using your strength for everything. As an older man, you use wisdom, right? So there's 2 things in men, wisdom and strength. And I think that we have to balance the relationship between wisdom and strength in our life. Again, as a young man, you ain't worried about wisdom because you don't have any. Your fuel is your strength. But when you come to a place of maturity as a man, you start to realize, y'all, that you need wisdom and strength. Why? Wisdom rebuilds, strength rebuilds, but wisdom assesses. In a relationship, you have to assess what's going on with your lady before you just go off, right? You have to assess because there's some women. Listen, I'm not saying there's all women get into an emotional place because they were built by God that way, right? And sometimes a woman can get erratic. She don't know what she's feeling. She can't really get a grip on what's going on. And women will say all kinds of stuff that's crazy. And you know what you got to do as a man. I'm talking about manhood. I'm not talking about you little boys out there, because I'm tired of getting attacked online by immature boys out here when I talk man stuff. Because I know somebody going to get in the comments later on and say, oh, that's weak. No, it's not weak. It's manhood. It's manhood to sit back and assess a situation. And let me ask y'all something. How many times in your life do you wish you had assessed before you responded? Prison is full with people that responded and did not assess. The graveyard is full of men who responded instead of assessing. How much better would your life be right now, bro? I'm talking to you. How much better would your life be right now if there's some things that you assessed before you moved? Before you made a move, if you assessed it. Before you got mad, did you assess it? Before you left, did you assess it? Before you allowed anger to take over, did you assess it? Before you withdraw your emotions, did you assess the situation? Manhood is assessing, not just making moves. One thing about Nehemiah that I learned is that he sat back and he assessed the problem before he chased the problem. Why? Because we got to let wisdom kick in. How many of us jump into action without thinking? You jump into action without thinking. That's a young man's game. And I tell y'all all the time, there's other channels that deal with men, but a lot of them are dealing with young boy stuff. This is a grown man station. This is a grown man channel. We talk about grown man things and realizing that making moves without thinking is foolish. It's foolish. You hear what I'm saying? So when you look at a problem, even whether it's your marriage, even your children, if you see that your child is dealing with a certain thing, don't just jump down their throat and try to raise them like you were raised. Assess your child. Do you know we live in a different age now, guys? This is a different age. I was born in 79, right? And growing up through the 80s and the 90s, my parents ain't play no games, right? They wasn't assessing nothing when I was growing up. Right? They looking at your behavior and they like, look, you ain't gonna act like this, and you spankings and all kinds of stuff. Do you know we live in a new day now? The stress is higher. Our children are dealing with stuff that we never dealt with. Come on, dads. Our children are dealing with things that we never had to face mentally, socially, emotionally. Do you know what social media is doing to our children? So when you see your daughters acting a certain way, when you see your sons acting a certain way, the smartest thing to do is not just respond to their behavior. One of the best things you could do as a dad is to talk to your children. Now, I know that seems so simple, but a lot of us don't. We just want our kids to be a certain way. We want our kids to act a certain way. We want our wives to act a certain way. We want the people on the job to act a certain way. Well, guess what? It's a way to get everybody to move a certain way if you use wisdom to get them there instead of force. Don't force your children. Talk to them. See what's on their mind. And then add what? Wisdom to what's going on. But you got to sit back and you got to assess that first. You can't just fly off the handle. You can't just fly off the handle, and you can't just want things to change. You got to strategize how they change. How do things change? And guess what? How do I change things and keep everybody? Now we really digging into manhood now. When you use your mind to assess a situation, we talking about rebuilding instead of restarting, y'all. Instead of you use your wisdom to say, how do I keep everybody whole? Because manhood isn't striking everything down around you that's not in your wheelhouse, or things that don't make you glad, right? Don't let your life be thrown off because you're having a bad day. You got to assess what's going on. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Let me see. For sure, my brother. For sure. All right. All right. Number 2. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. This is where you got to, when you're rebuilding your life, when you're trying to rebuild your future, when you're trying to rebuild whatever has been broken in your life, the next thing you got to do besides having clear vision is you have to balance faith and action. You have to balance faith and action, because when things begin to break down in your life, it's easy to quit, right? It's easy to quit, and guess what else, y'all? It's easy to justify quitting. When you ever just been when everything's just falling apart, it's easy to justify quitting. Easy. But you gotta, and what's quitting? Quitting, y'all, I know y'all, I know the religious people. If you're religious, I know you're gonna get real mad at me right now, but just hear me out. Do you know sometimes sitting back and just saying, I'm just gonna pray about it? Do you know that's a form of quitting? Again, I know the religious people are like, yeah, you would like to stab me right now. Right? You would like to stab me right now. But your own, for some of you out there, your own scripture says that faith without works is dead. Believing without moving is pointless. That means if you believe that a certain thing is supposed to happen in your life, then some of you saying, well, Christian, I'm broke. I can't do this, Christian. I don't have that. What do you have, brother? What do you have? I know you don't have what you think you should have, but what do you have? What do you have right now? Right? It reminds me of the scripture when the woman in the when the woman had nothing and she was about to give up everything, and the prophet came and asked her, what do you have in your house? She said, nothing. I don't got nothing. I don't have nothing. He asked her again, what do you have in your house? She said, nothing. He asked her again, what do you have in your house? She said, nothing. I believe the reason why the prophet would ask her that 3 times is because we have a soul, and the soul has 3 parts to it. Now, I'm going to go deep, y'all. The soul has 3 parts to it: the mind, the will, and the emotions. I believe that man asked this lady 3 times to test her in her mind, test her in her will, and test her in her will and her emotions. This is the thing. When he asked her the first time, he was asking her, think about yourself. What do you think about yourself? When he asked her the second time, he was testing her will. Will you will yourself forward even if everything's trying to hold you back? Right? The mind, the will, and the emotions. How do you feel about yourself? What do you think about yourself? Are you willing to will yourself forward? And how do you feel about yourself? Because those are the 3 things that will push you forward. You hear what I'm saying? You have to balance faith and action. You can't sit back and just say, I'm going to pray about it, or I'm going to call somebody. No. While you're praying, move forward. While you're praying, think forward. While you're praying, plan forward. Why? Because I'm giving God something to work with. Because as a man, he expects you to move. Listen, this is why men don't go to church, because people don't teach men. I understand. This is why men stop following religion, because men aren't hopers. Men are builders. I'm teaching you how to build today, not hope. You got to use your faith and your action. If you believe that God is going to help you, you hear what I'm saying? For my Muslim brothers, God, Allah, same thing. You hear what I'm saying? Huh? For my Jewish brothers, Yahweh, we're talking about one God. We believe in one God. I'm going to do it. That's a whole nother podcast. Huh? But if you're going to believe God, you also should believe in what he placed in you. Oh, man, come on. See, religious teaching has separated us from us. It has made us feel like we're worthless. I can't be worthless. If the scripture says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, that means that God took his time when he made you, bro. You're looking at your life saying, man, I ain't nothing. I ain't this. That's just a feeling, bro. But you were fearfully and wonderfully made. That means that God took time when he stitched you together. What are you saying, Christian? I'm saying that you're not just born because your mama thought your daddy was cute and your daddy thought your mama was a baddie. That's not the reason why you were born. You were born because you have a purpose on your life. And then when challenges come, you got to use your faith. I got to use my faith to believe that I'm going to go forward. Forward motion, bro. Pray and walk. Pray and plan. Pray and stride. Why? Because it's the marriage of faith and action that causes you to rebuild instead of trying to replace. You hear what I'm saying? See, you got to know that there's some things that belong in your life. There's some things that irritate you. And as a man, the first thing you want to do is get it out of here. Man, I ain't got time to deal with that. We've all said that. Man, I ain't got time for this. There's some things you better have time for. Oh, man. Ooh, there's some things as a man you better have time for. You better have time to rebuild. You better have time to rebuild your relationship with your children. You got to. Some of you men that got older sons that y'all bumping heads, That's worth rebuilding. You can't replace your son. Rebuild, humble yourself, rebuild with your children if you've broken a relationship with them. You hear what I'm saying? Rebuild with your children's mother. I'm not talking about re-entering a relationship, but I'm talking about respect, honor, so you can raise those kids. And I'm gonna tell some of you brothers right now, I don't care what you think about your children's mother. Have honor for her because she made your babies. See, we justified it to, oh, she crazy, she this, she that. Bro, she made your kids. Do you realize rebuilding that relationship is wiser than just trying to replace it? And again, I'm not talking about getting back with her. Some of y'all do need to get back with your children's mother. That's another story for another day. But what I'm saying is that some of you, all of us need to honor, right? I'm divorced. My wife almost died having, my ex-wife almost died having our children. What do I look like saying, oh, we divorced now, I don't care nothing about you? Are you crazy? I was there when she flatlined on a silver table, man. So what, we not together? Right? Love, honor, respect comes from the fact that she gave me 4 lives. Rebuild. Don't dishonor. I'm cooking today. I hope y'all think I'm cooking. And if y'all don't think I'm cooking, I know I'm cooking. Let me see. All right. Wait, did Ryan show up? Ryan, well, good morning, Ryan. Let me see how late you are. You 27 minutes late, Ryan. Good morning. Let me see. Jess, let me see. You have to pray and move your feet. Absolutely, Jess. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tamika Cox, good morning, the dear brother and dear sister community. Good morning. Good morning, my dear. Good morning, my dear. Let me see. I'm mom and dad, I'm thankful for their mother because then I wouldn't have them. Absolutely. Right. And this is the thing. Thankfulness for their mother means a certain level of honor and respect. See, because I'm talking about rebuilding, y'all, today. I'm talking about rebuilding because we live in a society now where men, we believe we can just make a mess of something and move on. That's not manhood. Manhood is not making a mess of something and moving on. Manhood is building. Things are so different now, man. Men used to build. Men used to hang in there. Men had stick-to-itiveness. Now, today, and I know what it is. I would go in. Y'all see me frowning. I would go in and just knock men. But what I learned is that a lot of men didn't have men. There's so many men who grew up with women, and when a man grows up with just women, he operates emotionally because that's what he saw, right? Most women say, oh my God, when something go wrong, right? She'll figure it out, but she goes through the oh my God moment. If a boy grows up and all he sees is women going through the oh my God moment, he never gets the opportunity to see how a man deals with stress. So consequently, he deals with stress like a woman would, emotionally. So what are you saying, Christian? I'm saying we need healed men, heal men. This is what I'm trying to get this podcast to transition into. Because since July, I've been teaching healing and the healed man and the vulnerable man. But there comes a point, y'all, and y'all see me transition totally into this by January. There comes a place where healed men must heal men. And if a broken person can break a person, then a healed person can heal somebody else. Right? So if we have a society full of men who have not been led, then where are the Nehemiah men who would look out and rebuild the walls and standards for manhood? Where are they? Where are they? Or we still trying to be rappers? We still trying to wear gold chains. Well, we still spending crazy amounts of money on clothes that don't mean nothing. What are we investing in as men? What are we building as men? Are we building society or are we just building our pride? Are we building society or are we building our what we wear every day, our closet? Are we building society or we just care about what we're going to drive next? Well, I know somebody would say, well, Christian, that stuff means something too. What does it mean? What does it mean when our sons are being murdered in the street like dogs? What does it mean that you can walk down the street with some Gucci boots on and our daughters are promiscuous by the time they 12, bro? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, let's get into it. What's happening? What's happening in society now where we just letting it slide? What's happening in society now? You hear me? What's happening in society when we want to focus on the stories about Diddy and Jay-Z and all these other stars that have molested children, and we have molestation going on right in our houses while we watching stories about them? What happens? What happens? Where's the Nehemiahs that will look through your family and say, let me rebuild this? Where's the Nehemiah in you, bro? The Nehemiah, the biblical Nehemiah that will look at your children and say, I'm going to build my daughter. I'm going to build my son. I'm going to build my wife up. Not replace. Rebuild. Oh, come on. Let me see. The breeze from the window had me stuck. Boy, I love you, Ryan. You are crazy. Let me see. We out here riding, trying not to get hurt again. I hear you. I hear you. But sometimes, you know what? For society, sometimes you got to put yourself in harm's way to heal society. I'm looking for healers now, y'all. And I want y'all to know that. I want everybody who is a subscriber to the Dear Brother podcast to know that we're going to heal and then we're going to go heal. Right? We're not just going to heal so I can feel better. No. We're going to heal and then we're going to go heal the society around us. Let me see who's in the chat. My man Xavier. Part of my purpose in life is to heal men. My man. I'm working on myself so I can be a model for men. This is the thing. Listen here, Zay. You can work on yourself and still be a model for men while you're working on yourself. See, that's another trick of society that makes us feel like I got to have all this right before I can. No. Look, even when you look through the scriptures, right? Any book, when you look through the scriptures, when you look through men's live stories, do you hear what I'm saying? I want to point y'all at this picture right here. Now, obviously, that's Martin Luther King. I think I mentioned this before, but the reason I put this picture in my background, because this little thing right here, that's a cigarette. You see how broken he is? This is a leader that was broken that was still leading. Xavier, this is for you, bro. This was a leader that was broken that was still leading. Don't wait. Don't wait. You don't have to wait. You don't have to get better to heal, bro. It's in you. It's in you right now. And sometimes working or helping other people heal while you're healing heals you faster. Because as men, when you see who needs you out there, you begin to focus on their pain and focus on healing them. And it makes you not so stuck on what you're going through. Sometimes using your gift to help others is the very thing you need to push yourself forward, bro. It's the very thing you need to push yourself forward. Let me see. Ron McGee. Men need to see that working on yourself works. Yes. But this is the thing. Part of working on yourself is working on other men around you. Because while you think you got so many problems, there are men out here, guys, that have 100 times the problems you do. And while you're trying to heal yourself, guess what? That brother out there, he needs you while you're in the situation you're in. When you're dealing with things in your life, it does not make you unworthy of helping other people, brother. I want you guys to know that. Everybody on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the share button. Y'all hear what I'm saying? It doesn't devalue you because you're facing things, man. It doesn't devalue you. So what? You're going through something. Who's not? Don't think you're not useful because you're battling something, bro. That's the point I'm trying to make. Let me see. All right. So faith in action. Let's get to number 3. Lead by example. Lead by example. What's that mean? Nehemiah refused. He refused to put people to do work that he wasn't willing to do. You hear what I'm saying? That's like me being on this podcast trying to teach y'all something and I never ever even try to walk by what I'm saying. No, I have to be whatever I teach y'all, I have to be the first. I have to eat that fruit first. You hear what I'm saying? Even if it's hard teaching and I'm teaching y'all, I have to be the first partaker of what I'm saying. You got to lead by example. What that means is in order to help the next man, sometimes you got to make the sacrifice. You got to make the sacrifice. What am I sacrificing, Christian? I'm sacrificing the things that have gotten in my way so I can help the next man. Right? I'm sacrificing my need to help the next man. What you talking about, Christian? I'm talking about a nation of men who aren't self-absorbed. I'm talking about a nation of men who are about the next man, who realizes that no change can happen unless my brother stands with me. Healed men heal men. Again, if a hurt man can hurt a man, then a healed man can heal a man. I'm looking for healers, brothers that will love other brothers no matter what they're going through without judgment, man. You got to be to people what you need, right? All of us as men, the biggest thing we need as men is not sex. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to say X, it's YouTube. What the greatest thing a man needs is understanding. Now I'm going to talk to you sisters that's on the Dear Brother podcast this morning, that's trying to build relationships or rebuild a relationship with a man. The greatest thing a man needs is understanding. He needs you to understand him, not cook him a meal, right? A man will figure out a meal. A man who don't know how to cook will figure out what to eat. But you know what every man needs more than anything? Understanding. Y'all remember homie, lover, friend? Those three things? Yeah, a man needs a homie he can hang out with. He needs a lover that's going to soothe his mind when he's hurting, rub his head and let him know things are going to be all right. But the friend is the woman who's not looking for him to meet a standard, but understands the times when he can't. Right? So what you're saying, I'm going to throw this in, brothers. Is some of you single brothers out there, even some of you brothers that's in relationships are married, tell the person you're with what you need. Oh, man. I know this is supposed to be a relationship Friday talk, right? But don't be afraid. If you want to rebuild your relationship with a woman, don't be afraid to tell her what you need. Because I'm going to tell you, because a man is a provider, protector, there's times in a woman's life where she will expect so much from you, she'll forget what she needs to give you. You hear what I'm saying? And it's not a knock to the woman. What happens is when she's taught a man provides, protects, and he does this and that, a lot of times a woman will forget what she needs to give you emotionally. And if you don't say what you need emotionally, a woman will not think about what you need emotionally. She'll say, oh, you need, you need new boots for work. You need this. A woman will provide everything else. But a lot of times women aren't even taught what a man needs emotionally. A lot of times women aren't even taught to ask. So if you're going to rebuild with your lady, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it is, you're going to have to be honest enough to say what you need in order to rebuild. Let me see if it's in the chat. Let me see. Got to go. Appreciate the message. Hope everyone has a great day. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for coming through, man. You always add something to our podcast. Let me see. All right. Okay. And so, where were we at? Lead by example, right? I want to say this too. Leadership isn't about position. It's about character. Leadership isn't about position, it's character. So this is the hero complex that a lot of, well, he should do it because he's a leader. No, bro. No. Leadership is about character. It's not about the seat you sit in. Or some of you feel like, I can't make no moves because I'm not. No, you're a man. You looking for promotion to change things? No, you can change things because that's the power of manhood. Oh, well, I ain't in no government position. I'm not, but no, bro, you're a man. A man is designed to rebuild. A man is designed to build and rebuild. I'm talking about the 7 things that we can learn from the life of Nehemiah, man. He didn't go down there and tear up the wall. He went down there and found people and showed them the power that they can rebuild. You want to be a man? You want to be a man? Show other men how to rebuild their lives. You want to change society? Show other men how to rebuild their lives, right? You want to build things up around you? Whatever you've been free from, teach another man how to get free from. You have real conversations with men. Let men know that everything's not a joke. Huh? Don't laugh all the time with your guys. Right? I had one of my friends, one of my closest friends. He'll call and he'll joke sometime about foolishness. And I say, yo, bro, that ain't cool. Come on. Come on, y'all. You know, as men, we can joke around, we can laugh, we can, right? But there's times when if you're going to heal or rebuild your brothers around you, you got to stop joking about things that are tearing his life apart. Right? Stand up with men so we can stand together and rebuild society. Listen, man, we're not here just to be born, watch the world go to hell, and then we die. No, man, you were born in a certain position. The place you live, everything about you, wherever you are, whatever job you're on, as a builder and a rebuilder, you should be looking for places that can be rebuilt again. That's manhood, bro. Don't get caught in the cycle of life, going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, going to work, crack a beer, go to sleep, go home. You understand? It's more to your life than that. That's why so many men are dealing with value issues today, because men are starting to live in cycles, and we're starting to not see our purpose. We're missing our purpose. We're just going in a cycle of rotation of life, just trying to have enough money in our pocket to pay our bills. No, bro, you're a purpose-driven man. You were born with a purpose, and you're driven by that purpose. But you got to get rid of the things that distract you from the purpose you should be driven by. Don't let a woman drive you. Let purpose drive you, and then you can have a healthy relationship with her. Don't let money drive you. Don't let the lust for money to drive you. Don't be driven, bro. You drive. That way you can set everything in your life where it needs to be. Let me see who's in the chat. Oh my God, we got 42 minutes in. All right. Abundance House, my brother, thank you, man. All the way from Ghana. Thank you for hanging out with us, bro. Thank you for hanging out with us. Yes, leadership is about character, not position, man. There's a whole lot of people. Look in government right now. There's a whole lot of people sitting in seats, right? But it don't mean they have authority. Character gives you authority, not position. Character gives you authority, not where you sit. Y'all hear me? All right, let's go deeper. Let's go deeper in this thing. All right. Let's do this. Here's a hard one. If you're going to be a rebuilder instead of a restarter, you got to be able to handle criticism and opposition. If you're going to be a rebuilder instead of a restarter, you're going to have to deal with criticism and opposition. Let me say this. Give y'all this example. When I wrote this book right now, I wrote this book in 2019. I wrote this book about rebuilding the church. I can't tell you the flack I caught. I'm talking about people talk so bad. I'm talking about the religious people tried to kill me for writing this book. How dare you rebuild? Right? That was the challenge. How dare you rebuild? You got to be able to take that criticism. Because change challenges people. Change challenges people. And anytime you go to make a change in your life, anytime you go to shift your family to another dimension, anytime you go to change something that people are comfortable with, you will be opposed. And if you're going to be a rebuilder instead of restarter, you got to be willing to deal with opposition. You got to be willing to deal with people that don't believe in what you're saying. You got to be willing to deal with people that think you are out of your mind. You hear what I'm saying? When I said I was leaving the church to serve God, people have made a God out of the church. So they thought they called me a heretic. And this is the crazy part, y'all. They didn't even read the book. They just saw this title right here and called me all kinds of stuff. Said I didn't love God. I was out of my mind. But guess what? I was so interested in rebuilding that I was willing to take the opposition for this. What are you willing to be opposed about, bro? What move are you going to make that you know that you will be opposed? Somebody's going to challenge you. Somebody's going to come at you. What change are you willing to make that you know people are going to look at you sideways? But you got to believe it. You got to believe that you're called to change the thing that God shows you can change. You hear what I'm saying? Let me see. All right? So this is the thing. You have to ignore mockery. Right? Some of you want to go back to listen, some of y'all guys need to go back to your ex. Because only pride broke up the relationship. She wasn't bad as you told everybody she was. This grown man talk. Some of y'all need to go back and rebuild. But you know what you worried about? Opposition. You worried about what somebody going to say. You're so concerned about what somebody going to say that you won't go rebuild. You rather replace because you don't want to deal with what people have to say. Bro, if you know what's in front of you is worth pursuing, whether it's a career, whether it's changing the cities that you live in, whether it's rebuilding a relationship, whatever it is in your life, bro, don't be so concerned what people will say about you. Be more concerned about what you need that's sitting there in front of you. Don't miss the life you deserve worried about what people going to say about it. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Don't be so caught up in what people will say about the life you are pursuing that you stop pursuing it. How many times have you put down your dreams, put down your goals because it sounded crazy to somebody else? How many times have you not pursued a new career or move like you wanted to move, right? You have a right to leave your hometown. You got a right to do a lot of stuff in life, man. But you know what we don't do? We don't do it because of what somebody going to think, what they might say, what they might feel. How long will you be bound with what people feel about the things the moves you make in life? You can't be stuck there, bro. You owe yourself more than that. Right? Be able to handle criticism. Men face criticism from all sides, social media, colleagues. Right? The biggest criticism we receive is self-doubt. But you got to know that staying focused on what matters to you is what will keep you in the game. It don't matter what nobody else got to say. You got to convince yourself. You got to convince yourself. When I retired from pastoring after 27 years, people thought I was crazy. You know what people said? Oh, you're so young. I was 39. I wasn't young. I started at 14 years old. Somebody one time walked up to me and said, how dare you retire? You just say, you young. You just a kid. I started serving this world at 14 years old, was traveling the country by the time I was 17, was seeing the world by the time I was 22. At 39, after going through all kinds of sicknesses and problems, of course. But that criticism, right? People didn't want me to leave. People wanted me to have that church forever because it was comfortable for them. But I had somewhere else I had to go. Do you know, y'all, if I stayed in that church, I might not have never been talking to y'all. I get to talk to people from around the world right from here. Right? But I would have never took my voice to another level of life if I kept on listening to people that said, we need you. There are some people that their need will keep you stuck in a place you no longer belong. There are some people that will use their need of you to keep you in a place that you no longer belong. You have to appreciate yourself more. I talk about self-awareness all the time. As a man, you got to be self-aware enough to know when your time is up at a certain place. You got to know it, or you'll be stuck in spaces that you are greater than. Many of you are stuck in small places. You've been outgrown that space. You've been bigger than the space you in, but you stayed in that space because of how people gonna feel. The greatest freedom that you can ever get is from the opinions of people. Let me put this up right now, y'all. I'm at the end of the show. I'll do Dear Brother the advice. Anybody, if you need advice, business advice, relationship advice, whatever advice, life advice, jump in the chat. put it in there, and I'll make sure that I answer any questions before I leave the show today. All right, put it in there. This is our time, dear brother. The advice. All right, go in the chat. You can put it right in the chat, and I'll make sure I address any advice needs before I leave. Also, while I'm doing this, go to my website, christianwinners.com. Get Removing the Shame Part 1. Who's the cause of your delay? This book, I wrote this book for people that have allowed other people in your life, relationships, right? Friendships that have caused shame, caused guilt, people who you allowed in your life who have brought problems to your life. I wrote an ebook just for you. It's on my website right now. It's on sale for $5. Go get this ebook, Removing the Shame. And for many of you right now, as we come to the end of the year, some of you are tired, exhausted, mentally and emotionally exhausted. I wrote this book to lift you up. Right? Ebook, Overcoming Fatigue. It's on my website, christianwinters.com. Go get those books. $10 will get you 2 great shots of wisdom in your life. Go get them. All right. Let me see. All right. Let me get back. All right. Come on, blurriness. All right. Where we at? Listen, next thing, build a support system, man. This solo, dolo, I'm all on my own. No, you're not. I think as men, we all play that game on ourselves. Oh, man, I got this, man. I'm out here, bro. Stop. You can't succeed by yourself. You can't. You need mentorship. You need somebody who's going to love you. You need somebody who's going to talk to you without judgment. You hear what I'm saying? You need a support system. You need people around you, right? To get you where you got to go. You can't do everything alone. Whether it's building a business, whether it's strategy, whether it's strengthening your marriage, whether it's overcoming addiction, right? You got to surround yourself with people who believe in the mission you're on. Hear me, right? If you're trying to rebuild your marriage, you can't be around a whole bunch of dudes talking about, man, we out here, man, we ain't worried about these shorties. Forget these chicks. No, bro. You will never be able to fix your marriage around people like that. Right? You can't build your business around people that saying, that's crazy. That don't sound right, man. Or that sound wild. Get around people that say, man, that sound wild, but I believe in you, bro. That sound crazy, but I believe in you. Man, you going back to your wife, man. Oh, man, there's so many women out here. No, bro. You need somebody who's going to say, yo, I don't care how many chicks out here, man. Go home, fix your life, fix your marriage, build with your children. Right? You need people that will encourage you to rebuild instead of restarting. Right? You do. You need people that believe in the mission you're on, not the mission that pleases them, not the mission that makes more sense for them, but the mission you're on. And guess what? When you got somebody that really loves you, when you really have support system, they don't even have to agree with your choice, but they'll support your choice because you're making one. You hear what I'm saying? Stay resilient. Stay resilient. Know your worth. And this is what I want to finish with. Know your role in God's plan. Know your role in God's plan. Many of us define ourselves by job titles, how much money we have, what we can produce, and the honesty is we should be defining ourselves by our God-given purpose. You want to figure out what kind of man you are? Define yourself by your God-given purpose, not what you got, because things come and things go, right? I had a 7-bedroom house in a place called Huntington Valley, bro. Beautiful. And I remember the day I got rid of everything I owned and lived in a car. That didn't stop my value. I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to you, bro. I'm talking to you. You can't define yourself by what you possess, because things come and things go. Do you have a hold on who you are? That way, no circumstance can change how you feel about you. In a car, I was a man. Sleeping in a car, I was a man. You hear what I'm saying? I didn't judge myself. Oh, you ain't worth nothing now. No. In fact, I learned more about myself then. Do you know, as a man, you learn more in discomfort than you do in comfort? In fact, you learn how to handle comfort when you've lived in discomfort. We talking about manhood, y'all. We talking about manhood. All right? So let me give you this challenge before I go. I want you to think about the areas in your life where you can apply these principles about rebuilding instead of restarting. I want you to look around your life and start to see the times where you ran away instead of rebuilding. And if you didn't run away physically, sometimes you can run away mentally. You can run away socially, means you shut down. Think about the times in your life where you lost something good because you rather restart than rebuild. Whether it's career, whether it's relationship, right? No matter what it is, whether it's relationship with your children. I don't care how old your kids are, and they may not want to deal with you. Every kid desires their father. Every kid desires their father. Now, somebody gonna say, my kids don't, they don't want me around. No, you know what? They don't want the prideful you around. Your kid desires the humble you, the kind you, the rebuilt you. Don't run from your children, bro. I don't know who I'm talking to, but don't run from your children. Rebuild with them. I don't care what happened in a relationship with you and the mother of your children. Your children need you. They need your voice. They need your wisdom. They need your resilience. They need your balance. Don't run. Rebuild. Don't run. Rebuild, bro. So this week, take some time and think about the things that you should have rebuilt, that you ran from, and question yourself, can I still rebuild? And if you can't, that's okay. But take the lesson going forward that I'm not going to put on skates. I'm going to rebuild because you're worth that. I'll leave you with this before I go to the chat. No matter how broken things have gotten in your life, no matter how broken things seem in your life, there's always a way to rebuild. And sometimes if you can't rebuild the thing, you got to rebuild yourself. You just need faith, you need focus, and you need the right people around you. And you can rebuild your life. You hear me? You need faith, you need focus, and you need the right people around you. You can rebuild your life. You're worth that, bro. You're worth that. Don't run from love. Don't run from people that care about you. That's the breadcrumbs that tell you it's time to rebuild, not replace. Rebuild. Hey, y'all, I'd love to hear from you what you thought about the lesson today. Throw it in the chat. Let me know how you feel. I'd love to hear what you think or what you learned today from what I teach. Let me see who's in the chat. You better talk. I'm trying, Jess. I'm trying. My brother from Ghana. Oh man, I'm glad you're receiving it, brother. Hey man, I'll be in Nairobi, Kenya. Man, I hope that I can get to Ghana. Hope that I can get to Ghana at some point, man, and be blessed by my brothers in Ghana. That would be a beautiful thing. Let me see. You appreciate wins once you've lost. Heck yeah, Ron. Heck yeah, you appreciate wins once you lost, man. Ain't nothing like taking the L. It is nothing like taking the L, bro. A L, well, you'll embrace a win, man. You'll never let go of a win. You take an L. My man Dasher, awesome work. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for being part of the community, man. Thank you, man. Because guess what? This show wouldn't be nothing without y'all. This show would absolutely be nothing without y'all. Hey, anybody need the dear brother advice before I leave? Throw it in the chat, and I will address some things. I will help you, bro. I will help you. I will help you think through some things, help you rebuild. But I hope y'all got it today. Resilience in manhood is about rebuilding. Rebuild, all right? Let me see. Hey, y'all, I firmly appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much, y'all. We done crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being down with my channel, man. I remember my first 10 subscribers. I never thought I'd make 1,000. I remember when I first got to 100, I said, this is as big as this will ever get. Thank God for 100. Here we are, crossed 1,000. Let me see. Dashel, I do need advice, but it's too much to text. All right. Let me see. I can bring you on, bro. I can bring you on. I can send you a link if you want to come on and discuss it. I got time. Right? Let me know if you want me to send you a link to get on, bro. I'll send you a link, and we can talk about it right here and right now. In fact, our conversation might help some other brothers in the room. So let me know. Let me know, Dasher, if you wanted me to bring you online right now. I can. Let me see. Uh, yeah, man, I can bring you on. So let me know if you want to come on, bro. We can do it. We can do it. All right. Um, all right, y'all. Let me see. Tarina Brown. With change, there's resistance. Change challenge. Yes. Change challenges every part of you. Change challenges every single part of you. Because you know what we do? We buy into our position. We buy into where we are right now as if there's not a greater day. And sometimes change challenges. Yes, absolutely. Listen, when I challenge, because you know what? Change makes you, it challenges your comforts. Change challenges your comforts. You know, one of the greatest lessons I learned from Nehemiah was comfortable. Nehemiah was comfortable before he decided to go build those walls. He was comfortable. He could have stayed right in his place. He could have said, you know what? I'm cool. And this is what's wrong with society now, y'all. We get to a place where we feel like we made it. And then we look at society and say, I'm cool. Oh, that's the hood. I don't live in the hood no more. Oh man, I don't go through that. Right? We go through, I'm cool. My kids go to private school. Hey, bro. No, man, that ain't what you was born for. I'm not saying move back to the hood, but I'm saying you just because you out of it don't mean you don't have a heart for it no more. You hear what I'm saying? If God has blessed you to reach a certain point in your life and is giving you more resources, wisdom, strategy, whatever it is, you're supposed to use that to rebuild the tough places around you. Don't come up and then get on a throne, bro. Like you better than everybody else, or man, that's one of the things that break my heart about having conversations with men. Hey, man, I ain't me. My kid's cool. What about the rest of the kids? It's being less than a man, bro, to just say, look, I made it for me. How about rebuild for others, man? How about help people rebuild their lives? How about you still know people that can't get their mind where you got your mind? Do you know it's part of your manhood to help people rebuild? Yes, it is. Right? So rebuild. Let me see. Okay. I'm driving the kids off right second, but I'm dealing with trust issues. I feel like I forgave, but the memory haunts. Okay. Understood. So what you can do, what you know what you can do, Alfonso? I'm gonna address your what you gave me right here. But go on my website, christianwinners.com, and set up a one-on-one with me. It's donation based, so whatever you want to give, you can give. But if you don't have anything to give, that's fine too. Go to christianwinners.com, set up a one-on-one with me, and then we can go ahead and talk. And anybody else in here that needs that one-on-one, hey Christian, I'm dealing with this and I really need, go on my website, christianwinners.com right now, and set up a one-on-one with me. It's donation based, so you can give according to, hey, how I blessed you or whatever it is, right? But the reason I do it donation based is because I needed help as a man, and I couldn't afford counseling. I couldn't afford it, and I had nowhere to go but to deal with it. I made a promise to myself that when I get in a position to give counseling and care to people, I'm not going to be more worried about what they got to give. I'm going to be worried about helping them. All right. So Dashel, go on my website, christianwinners.com, and hit that one-on-one, and you can go right to my calendar and set up your date, bro. And we can talk through it all. But let me see. Driving the kids. Okay. I'm dealing with trust issues. I feel like I forgave, but the memory still haunts me. This is the thing. That's okay. Hey, bro, that's okay. You know what I've been teaching today about rebuilding? This podcast was for you, right? Rebuilding takes time. And our desire, again, as men, to just fix how we feel, fix the things around us. We're fixers. And even though it's a gift, at times as men, we forget that process takes time. If you're dealing with trust issues, There's nothing wrong with that, bro. Don't think anything's wrong with you because you forgave and you still dealing. That's part of regular life, right? Now, whoever you're not trusting, if you're keeping them in bondage because of your mistrust, then that's wrong. But if you're dealing with working on building trust again, you can forgive, but building trust again is a process. It's a process for both people, right? It's a process for both people. If you're dealing with another person, it's a process for them to humble themselves for what they did to cause you that. It's a process for you to rebuild the trust you had. Again, just don't do this. Don't put your claws on somebody and keep them like this. Then you're not trying to rebuild. You're trying to crush, right? But don't hold it against yourself that you're dealing with trying to rebuild your trust, bro. Mm-mm. Dealing with trust issues, especially after you've been broken, is part of the journey. Yeah. And you say you feel like you forgave. Yeah. Feeling like forgiving doesn't mean it's over. Right? But I want to applaud you for this. Rebuilding, forgiving is so freaking brave. Right? Listen, Alfonso, do you know how many brothers and people and sisters and people in society that live their life never forgiving anybody? Right? Seriously, there are some people that walk around with so much unforgiveness, it causes them actual physical illness. Forgiving was brilliant, right? I'm going to say this to you, Alfonso. Celebrate small victories, man. The fact that you forgave, celebrate that. Don't be so in a rush to just get to the end of it. The fact that you forgave opens up the door for rebuilding. That's brave. You made a strong move. Then the rest, let it take time. Again, just don't crush who you're trying to forgive. Then you put an ice on what you're trying to become. All right. All right, y'all. Great show today. Thank you all for hanging out with me, for hanging out on the Dear Brother podcast. I want to say to you all, remember, you matter today, right? Yesterday is past, man. You matter today. You matter to me, but make sure you matter to you. If you need one-on-one counseling, if you need group counseling, or you want me to come speak, you can book me right on christianwinners.com. You can get my ebooks on christianwinners.com. You can set up one-on-one counseling on christianwinners.com. And whatever you need, go to christianwinners.com, man, and I'll be right there to help you out. Let me see who's in the chat before I get out of here. My brother Levine, so needed, and your podcast has been a go-to for the last, oh man. Y'all know I'm a crybaby, man. Levine, thank you, brother. You know how much that means to me, bro? Levine and everybody else who appreciates this podcast. I want to say from my heart how much I love y'all, how much I embrace y'all, how much I feel the heart connection, man. I need this community as much as you guys need. And Levine, seeing that this thing has been a go-to for you, love you, man. Stand tall, man. Thank you so much, man. And for the encouragement you give me, brother, I believe in you. You believe in you. Rebuild, don't replace, bro. You hear what I'm saying? I appreciate that, Levine. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Remember, you matter. Ladies, remember, you're worth it. Let me go down to the screen to show you. Ladies, you're worth it. Let your decisions be made from this place. Make decisions from a place of worth, ladies. All my ladies that jump in the Dear Brother podcast, I love y'all. I got something for y'all. Make decisions from a worthy place. Don't make decisions from a broken place. Make decisions from a worthy place. Know you're worthy before you decide. Know you're worthy before you date the next person. Know you're worthy if you're pursuing that career. Know that you're worthy. Know it. Know it in your soul. Know it. Know it. And for my brothers, let me get out of here. Hey, y'all. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. All we got is right now. Hold up, I got another chat. I can't leave yet. Let me see. My guy Levine, for real, dealing with this stuff I have dealt with in the classroom as a teacher. Ron McGee is also in education. And it's not easy for black men in education. I'm telling you, I was a teacher and a principal. It's not easy for creative, passionate black men in education. It's hard. I'm standing with you. For real, dealing with the stuff I have dealt with in the classroom, and outside in the home, have been a needed relief, man. Listen, I'm here, bro. I'm here for y'all every day. And if I'm not on the podcast, go to christianwinners.com, set up your one-on-one, man. I am riding for y'all because I needed somebody to ride for me. So my commitment is to ride for my brothers. All right? Well, y'all, I'm out of here. Say it again. Yesterday is history. And tomorrow's a mystery. All we got is right now. What you gonna do about it? I love it. I love y'all. And